No microphone. There you go, John. John says ready, and I say something, and there's no sound.
He
did that on purpose.
Start to the podcast. He's like doing the countdown like this, and then you start talking. You're like, nothing's working.
I had a big, because Tom always Kevin sounds like he's on NPR, or maybe that was you that said that in my absence. See, we still don't have 4-Right's microphone.
Right.
Oh.
John, I'm used to working with pros. Sorry.
The locomotive's not here.
Tom knows.
And the train is off the tracks.
Tom knows when the intro song goes off, there's a few seconds, and then I unmute it.
This goes into something I'm going to talk about in a second, but before I forget, and by the way, welcome to Lock Pod.
Thanks for having us, Kevin.
Season 8, Episode 3.
Philly Talon.
No Dr. locomotive, but I do have the Chief of Stuff, Phil Talon, with us.
Chief of Stuff.
And also, of course,
Kevin Smith,
I need to think of a great adjective for you, Michael.
Ditch the shaft.
The undescribable.
The retired.
The undescribable.
The indescribable.
Oh, no. Yeah. They can put it in legal terms, believe me.
The retired, the indescribable, Dr. Michael Forright.
I'm here today.
Can you still use doctor, according to Tom?
Tom says my credentials are shot. Does he remove them after you retire? I don't believe that's true.
I don't think that's how it works.
I may not have any power.
If he retires, he's still a JD.
There's the notorious LMP, who, by the way, said...
She's great.
About a minute before we started, said, hey, where's my dad?
I don't know where he is.
Well, anyway, he took the day off. So
he needs a day of time.
Regards to the mayor. He needs, we're switching off. He does one show. I do another show. We've got John, of course, John Vesmar, also the...
I didn't know you guys were going to get right into the switch.
John
is
the infallible
John
Vesmar.
The only constant.
Even though he screwed up the microphones, all three of them.
He did not screw up anything. You guys are just
Do you remember
you guys are amateurs.
Do you remember the talk on Friday?
Well, which one would he have?
The talk on Friday was, we're on the Friday show because that's the A show. If you're doing the Tuesday show,
it's the D show.
You're on like the
Q,
the
Q show. So why are you here, Phil?
That's the question. I'm looking at Dr. Mike like, what are we doing?
Like, didn't we make a deal?
Get out of here.
There was a lot
Phil,
of chit-chat
I feel
on
like
that show
that
about...
comment specifically targets me.
No.
Thank you, Linz.
This was about...
that's a good point.
That's because of my work schedule.
He can't see because I have my hand up.
We're gonna get into this in 1 minute. If I don't remember something, though, I'll do it right now. I'm going to hear it at home. So today, my youngest boy, Charlie, who you all know, 18 today.
Wow. Happy birthday, Charlie.
This is what he did. This is what he did for his birthday. You'll like this, Michael. Watch this video here.
Oh, look.
Yeah, look at this thing.
This
is
he's
South Colorado.
Yes.
Here it comes.
Little
boom. Charlie.
Got some air.
About his 7th, 8th time on a snowboard.
Let's see that again.
That's really fantastic. For just to have no fear in order to get that air off of that lead.
Nice.
It's great.
Can you make that into a vine, John?
Yeah. What does that mean, a vine?
Happy birthday to Charlie.
It just repeats itself over.
I told him he's got to register to vote and register for the draft today.
Charlie had the winning goal for his team in his last high school soccer game.
Well, they lost, but he did score a great penalty shot.
Well, he had the last penalty shot.
There you
that's
go.
it for his career in high school.
That's true.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So,
and he's fantastic.
Happy birthday to Charlie.
Happy birthday, Charlie.
So
18.
Here's what I want to bring up for you. Since I've got two of the three, I'm going to call you the yes men from last week. One of the important things of this show is to, keep Tom in check a little bit, make sure he's on level. And I got to tell you, and I don't blame John because he's busy producing.
Oh,
but I got to.
How convenient! How convenient!
I got to tell you,
when your microphone wasn't working a little bit ago, you weren't saying that. But go ahead, Kevin. Continue.
You're all sitting here, and Tom is saying things. I want to say in my heart of hearts that he was just testing you. He wasn't just throwing out bad information, but he said some things that I was like, I'm sitting at the airport and I'm listening. And by the way, great show. You guys did awesome. Very good. I did. I was sitting at the airport listening to you. So, and I was laughing. Great job on Friday at the A
Thanks,
show.
Kevin.
Yeah. But he starts off by saying, let's talk about Notre Dame football. And everyone's like, oh, yeah, you love Notre Dame. Tom. They got a new great quarterback. And, I've seen him beat Notre Dame a couple times. And I said, what? Wait a minute.
Oh, here's number
Nobody
one.
says anything. Hartman is never. I was like, I don't even remember Wake Forest playing Notre Dame recently. And there's no way Notre Dame lost to Wake.
No way.
So I say, I'm like, nobody says anything. Everyone's just like, okay, you're right, Tom. We can't wait to see the new quarterback. I checked it, fact-checked it after I had a chance, and they played him once in 2018, and Notre Dame beat him by like 30 points.
Maybe he
that's
played
number one.
Some of the Notre Dame guys in high school. And that's
there you go. Maybe that's what Tom was referring to. Because he does know Notre Dame football very well.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah,
all right, so that was the first time.
Okay.
So Tom starts like testing a little bit. Like, let me say something about this quarterback and see if anybody says anything. Nope, nothing. And then he goes, you know what? I'm going to later in the show. He goes, I'm going to push this a little further. I'm going to ask a crazy question and see if anybody says anything. And he says, who Now, I have a trivia question for you guys about American history. What
Agnes.
person has ever been elevated directly from Speaker of the House to the presidency? It's only happened one time. What was the answer?
It was Spiro Agnew was the vice, but it was Gerald Ford who got it from the Speaker of the House.
Okay, still, so all right, still right here. We're
being tested
at the
again.
Yes, at the airport,
Double
I almost dropped my iPad when no one said anything, and Tom says, "Oh, it's Gerald Ford." I'm like, "What?"
Agnew was in a car.
Gerald Ford was vice president. He was never. First of all, he's never Speaker of the House, and second of all, more importantly, he never got elevated to the presidency. I think his next question was, "What Secretary of the Energy became president?"
So what you're saying
Buttigieg.
is we were tested and we failed.
Failed.
That's what you're saying.
Yeah, you just go ahead and let him say whatever he wants. What was his next crazy question going to be?
Well, here's what I will tell you. Maybe you didn't listen to the entire show.
I may not
Because
have.
if I recall,
No,
we
because
told
he's a history
Tom-
buff and he got pissed off.
I turned it off at that point.
We told Tom that your Wordle game is trash.
Oh.
We called him out.
I didn't hear that.
live on the
I
air.
didn't hear that.
Yes. He does the conservative
I would have
approach.
agreed with that.
He
He's
does
still
like
playing
3
Wordle?
words.
That's why we need to start scoring.
Yeah, I agree.
All right.
I
You
think
guys
I
got
brought
a lot
it
of
up.
time on your hands. You guys are wordling. and
Wordling.
things like
Well,
that.
you're the retired man.
I
What are you
haven't
doing?
played Wordle.
Doing other things.
What
This
other things are you doing?
I'm actually going to think I'm going to do a try this summer.
Come on.
Honest to God, I started swimming.
You know what? I will say this.
Honest to God.
You look thinner,
Thank you. I'm 32 pounds down from when I was back from the crane.
so you're not going to be breaking any
Frames
this year.
I crushed one last year, man. I crushed one. It was the beginning of the season, and I was a little bit big for
Is
the
it all
carbon.
exercise? Is that how you're losing the weight, or is there
Oh,
other?
no, it's intermittent fasting because, it's like we didn't have lighting or microwaves after 6 o'clock at night. So you
Back in
usually,
what
right,
times?
Since like 100 years ago.
Okay.
So till the beginning of time. So we didn't have a chance to put a tombstone in at midnight just because we were smoked up and wanted to watch a movie.
You also didn't have TV. People
Also
weren't like
true.
snacking
Not-
in front of the TV at night.
TV's
couch
early
potatoes,
700 years
playing
ago.
video games, those type
What?
of things. Hey, before we've got a great show
does
ahead
that?
of nobody here. We've
Yeah,
got a
and-
great show ahead of us. We've got a Capitol update from the state capitol, Indianapolis, from Representative Mike Andrade.
He's
one of
coming
our-
today?
He's Skyping in just minutes.
Oh, I like that.
And then
fantastic.
after the 8 o'clock hour, we're going to have a pretty serious discussion with Dr. Mike and Lindsay about sudden cardiac arrest. If Dr. Mike can have a serious discussion,
discussion.
but
I
I
can.
think he can.
I mean, heart attacks are
Look,
pretty important.
Linz is going to get on with me. We're going to draw
Absolutely.
pictures.
Oh, picture
I love
drawing.
pictures.
We're going to draw the solar
Are they going to be
plexus.
as good as these pictures?
Those are great. Those are
awesome.
fantastic, and we're not done with that.
So
I mean, that's just-
informational.
it truly is, and they don't do it. It was.
That's why I kept
This
one
kind
of
of
these.
thing is done all over the world, except for the United States, where, of course, Mars bars are made, and they don't want you to know it takes 4 hours to burn that shit off.
To burn off a
walking.
Snickers?
Yeah, to burn off a Snickers, but eat it if you're hangry, and then get another one 2 hours later, and that's you've added up 16 hours worth.
See
of
how we
effort.
got him serious?
Well, I was
right,
gonna-
like that.
I mean, that's
You
I'm
you
passionate
mentioned
about
sugar.
that stuff. We don't educate anybody about this kind of thing, and that's why.
you got
I
'em
mean,
worked
I'm
up.
on some of
did.
these dating apps. I'm going to tell you,
First question.
96%.
Are you eating
A
sugar?
Snickers.
To
Yes.
96% of the people I view on this, I go left just because they don't fit on the screen.
Left. And what does left mean? No.
Left means no
They don't
freaking way. They're
You-
not on your.
do you
can't
fit on
even
the
see-
screen
they
these
don't
days?
show their faces, and
Well,
the cute as can
he
be.
just lost 32 pounds.
You fit on the screen
Oh,
now.
I'm going down another 25 to 27 to be my ultimate. I'll be down about 220.
That's
for
a
my
lot.
What kind of
racing
try are
weight.
you going to do? Like Olympic?
No, I'm going to do whatever the one. I'll start out with the
Culver,
mini one.
The Culver,
the Culver one.
All right.
But I'm doing that. That's no problem.
By the way, I can't see chat. There's a weird glitch, so I think Lindsay's going to take over on that and just keep an eye on the
I don't
comments.
actually. I can't get it either.
You can't
Is it
see
my
chat.
Oh, now I can.
My
I'm good.
magnetism causing the glitch.
And we do have Andrade getting them connected here now.
Beautiful.
So we'll be ready in about 1 minute.
In 1 minute, we are going to have Representative Mike Andrade.
Fun. I'm
Oh,
excited. I want to
this
hear what's
is-
going on down
I can't wait. And by the way, I saw in the headlines in the local papers today. Legislative session is beginning, so it's very timely. It's like we got him first week.
Yes.
We got to ask him what's important on there.
We
What's
will.
he pushing?
Yeah.
I hear him there, Representative.
Michael
no,
Andrade.
not yet.
Not yet. Oh,
Not
boy,
yet.
it was
Whoa.
a tease, John.
Yeah.
It
Well,
was a
you guys,
tease.
the audience can't hear him. You guys can.
I gotcha. Okay,
You
so
were
they're
saying
working
nice
on it.
things about John earlier, but the production seems to be.
We got a
awry
full
right
schedule.
now.
Can you
up,
shut the
Bill.
hell
He's the
up,
best.
dude?
Be quiet. You
Not
can't
only-
walk into our space and
Right,
start
don't
picking
do
on
that.
us.
All right,
Those are a member of the 18.
now I have Andrade on.
Cut him off.
Representative Mike Andrade in the House.
Michael.
Michael Andrade, can you?
Good
hear us?
morning. Can
Good
you
morning,
guys,
There he is.
see me? Good morning.
No, we can't see you on video for some reason. Where
But
are
we
you at?
can hear you.
Yeah.
Thanks for representing us, Michael.
Switch to video if you can. If not, we're going to talk to you.
We need to switch to video, guys.
I love
I
how
got
he's
my-
got,
I got my
see, he's
tech
got his own
crew
technical
here.
crew there.
I don't watch it.
Wow,
I don't
fancy.
pay attention to any audio porn.
Mike's like, hit the button.
There
that
he
says,
is. Hey!
Wow.
Hey, look
Good
at you.
morning,
Michael.
left on center. We are live from the Statehouse.
Look at that.
People's House
looks
here
good.
in the
We keep it
chamber.
nice, don't we?
That's a beautiful.
I
picture.
have with me John Spence, my legislative assistant.
Good morning,
Say hi,
John.
greet the crowd.
John,
I'm
hey,
locking
you got him dressed up nice.
Anna Groover, my press secretary.
Oh,
Hi.
hey, look
Wow.
at this.
Say hello.
And behind the cameras, and we're able to somehow turn this around. Luis, my new
There's
intern.
Luis.
Hey, Lee.
Hi,
Awesome.
Louis. You got Eli with you?
Luis. Eli is not. No,
You always
no.
with
Eli,
you guys are
Eli
always
is
he
back
sings
home.
behind you. He's always carrying a tune.
All right, well,
He
here's
is.
let's remember
He
so
is.
we don't talk over Representative Andrade
I
because
love
there's
him.
a little bit of a delay.
Forgive me.
So, Representative, I know you got a busy day. I know you've been appointed
Yes.
to the House Ways and Means Committee. Congratulations, by the way, on that.
Congrats.
It's an unbelievable appointment and great for the region. Tell us what's going on down at the State House.
Well, it's incredible. We yesterday finished our first day in session, meetings all day. As Brother Kevin said, Ways and Means Committee. Today I have, I think, 5 hearings where we're hearing starting at 9 with special, the state education hearing. Then we're meeting with several different universities. Also, breaking news. No one knows about this. We haven't done the press release yet.
I like this.
My press secretary is working hard on that. But now I am the co-chair. I have been asked to be the co-chair of the Taiwan Friendship Caucus.
Wow.
So the deputy
fancy
consul
title.
from Taiwan and his delegation will be here today at 9:30. I'm going to be meeting with them along with Representative Lauer, who chairs it from the Republican side. And that's a high honor as we continue to build our relationship with our sister Taiwan country and our state. Taiwan is the top 3 country that our state does business with.
Interesting.
So we want to make
Didn't
sure
know
that we keep those diplomatic relationships, and it's an honor for me now to be a part of that as the co-chair. I also am the ranking minority member in financial institution. As you can imagine, the banking industry, commercial, credit unions, anything that has to do with the state investments, I am part of that now as well. So we have a busy schedule.
Let me ask you,
But I
Representative.
wanted to touch.
What?
I wanted to touch base about the governor's budget because I'm in Ways and Means now.
Yeah, I would like you to
And-
touch on that. And also, I want to hear about what Democratic priorities are because I know you're in the minority and I know you've done a great
Yes.
job in the minority getting things done. So I want to hear about Democratic priorities as well. So go ahead.
Thank you. So let's start with our Democratic priorities. We have to fund pre-K all the way around. Universal pre-K, we have to fund it. I am very excited to hear that our governor has requested for us to expand childcare by raising the income eligibility limits for the program from 127% to 138%. I actually have a bill.
138%, just so
These
we're
are
clear,
my-
138% above the poverty level, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Here are my bills.
Whoa, that's a
that
lot.
I'm going to be filing
Phil,
today.
that's
of
like
you.
what Phil reads every day.
every day,
Phil doesn't write them like
And-
you do.
nonstop.
And one of these bills here has to do with childcare. So I'm excited to see that the governor ambitious budget has one of my bills in it, which is I want to increase childcare, but I want to do more. We Democrats want to do more to take care of our people, our Hoosiers, and that is I want to expand it from 127% to 185%. See, we have the federal poverty level on the federal level is at 185%. So I want to make sure we kind of meet that threshold.
To match
And
it
that
with the
will be
federal
able-
level.
Correct.
Got it.
Correct. And that will allow more families to be able to have childcare and be able to bring people back to the workforce and continue to expand in workforce development here in the state and continue to be a strong and vibrant state. That's one of the things that the governor has brought up on his agenda that we Democrats are working for. The other one that he wants to spend $1.1 billion, which is the biggest ticket item, K-12 tuition support. This is something that we've been talking about. We need to support our children. We need to invest in our schools. If we don't invest in our schools now, we don't invest in our children now, we're going to be investing with them in the future when unfortunately it doesn't work out.
Lindsay's
So we
agreeing
need to
with you. I
invest
see her over there.
100%.
100%, Linz. Yes.
We need to invest in our teachers. Our teachers are the backbone of our children that go out of their way to make sure our children are taken care of. I am glad to see that the additional dollars to go to classroom will continue to create an effort to increase average teacher salary for at least $60,000 a year.
Lindsay's clapping.
That's something
Get
that I've
Lindsay
been very
Cam going.
passionate
Where's
about.
Lindsay Cam, John?
Give them some interest in being there.
I left the education field
you couldn't
making
afford
much less than that.
See that?
That's why she left. Maybe
be
she'll come
nice
back
to,
because of you,
yeah,
Representative Andrade.
That'd be great. She's a lovely teacher.
I've been one of the champions for public education. I've been a champion of education, and specifically our teachers. My first term, my freshman year, I floated a bill to raise the minimum salary for our teachers. This year I was going to do it again. I was told to stay put on it, and I know why now, because the governor says we're going to do it. So I'm very excited about that as well, where we need to continue to support our teachers and invest in them. And here's the big one. Democrats have been pushing on this for a long time. Representative Porter actually has been a champion of this on Ways and Means, our ranking minority member, to remove the fees for textbooks and curriculum. We are one of seven states left in our country that we still charge for tuition.
Even though our state constitution says you're supposed to have a free education. So here, this brings up a question, Representative, that I raised with Senator Melton. A lot of these issues that all of a sudden have appeared in Governor Holcomb's budget or in Republican talking points are ideas that Democrats have had and been pushing for years and years in the minority. How do you feel about the fact that, I guess, part of it is, okay, it's finally going to get done, but is part of it like, hey, we've been talking about this for years. Why is the other side finally waking up to these great ideas?
I am optimistic, and I always like to stay positive. And I like to say this, that we're finally getting things done in our state. And this is where the bipartisan effort works at. I've gotten things done, even though I've not got a hearing on one of my bills. My language has been put on someone else. Someone else gets the credit. Yes, we Democrats want to be able to get the credit for all the hard work and all the effort that we do day in, day out for our Hoosiers. But at the end of the day, we're just thrilled to see this finally coming to fruition, because we're here to work for the people. It doesn't matter how it gets done, as long as it gets done. And I hope that we get some credit this session for all of our efforts that our Democratic caucus, the minority, has done for such a long time. Even though we're a small minority, we work hard. We advocate for the day-to-day needs of our Hoosiers: teachers, education, childcare. I'm floating a bill to raise the minimum wage from $7.25 to $15. Why can't it be done? 17 other states have done it. It has been over a decade since we raised the minimum wage in our state. And so we need to continue to invest in our workforce. We need to make sure that we got good paying jobs and that people want to stay in our state and they're not leaving our state. Childcare, it's been the other one. Mental health. I'm glad that the governor is going to spend quite a bit of money on mental health. I have a bill about mental health that we expanded through telehealth to allow our counselors and therapists to be able to provide mental health services. Mental health is a big issue. We Democrats have been fighting about this. We've been saying it all along. We need to expand mental health. We need to fight for mental health resources.
I think this is,
telehealth sounds great. Who wants
telehealth
to make
is great.
It is great. If you can sit and talk to somebody instead of having to make an appointment and worry about the fear and the anxiety.
Make it a permanent part of, make it a permanent required part of health insurance.
Well, we
I
just
would
talked
do it
about
more.
last podcast. We talked about what we saw in San Diego with a lot of homeless,
Yeah.
and we know mental health plays a lot into that, and we have the same problems here. So I'm happy to hear. This.
I got to tell you, just if you haven't been introduced to Representative Mike Andrade and you're listening to this show, you know why a guy like Mike Andrade keeps getting reelected. It's because of this kind of fire in his belly. It's because of this kind of fight, and because he's focused on the right things for Hoosiers. And the other thing I'm always impressed with Representative Andrade is the fact that he has great relationships across the aisle to get things done. And he brings stuff home to the region. He's always fighting for the region. Even though you may hear him say, like, I'm working with Taiwan, I'm working on this issue and that issue, that you say, well, what does that have to do with the region? You'd be surprised how many things he's doing down there to help the region and to make sure that he's fighting for all of us down there. So Representative Andrade, I always love having you on. I know the mayor loves having you on. He sends his best, even though he's not here today. And I want to thank you I know you've got a really, really busy day, and I'm sure your folks are already giving you we got to wrap this up. We got to get moving. We got to get to the 9 o'clock.
I got 2 minutes. Real quick, one more thing, and I think Lindsay would like this. I have a bill here that will help with the tax credit for school supplies for teachers.
Love that.
Yes.
Right now, it's only $100, the tax credit that they get on a yearly basis. They spend way more money decorating their classrooms than $100. We need to take care of our teachers. I'm going from $100 to at least $500.
Beautiful.
I wanted
Oh
to
my
do more,
gosh.
but I think at least there's a step in the right direction.
Beautiful.
Something else to help our teachers.
Get that hearing.
And
Get a
I'll
hearing
finish-
on that bill.
And I'll finish with this, Brother Kevin. I am working on, I got a lot of things cooking right now in the burner, and it's only day 2 of session, and I'm excited about this 123rd session because I'm working on bringing dollars back to Lake County. I can't go with all the details yet because it's too early, but there's a lot of stuff behind the scenes that I'm working on bringing funding when it comes to infrastructure, when it comes to our first responders, when it comes to more money for the Ready Grant money that already the governor said he's willing to spend $500 million more for Ready Grant, which is going to help with economic development. So I'm helping from first responders to infrastructure to local municipality issues that they've been having to bring dollars to Lake County. And this is why it was so important for me to be able to get on the Ways and Means Committee, because I have a direct access to be able to work the decision makers here at the Statehouse, the players at the Statehouse, to say we need more funding and how I could be a part of that to have a voice to bring dollars back to Lake County.
Beautiful.
And so it's an honor to serve. Thank you as always, my friends at left and center, Dr. Forey.
It's an honor to
my
stand
good
next
friend
to
Phil
you.
Talon, Kevin Smith, John Vesmore, Lindsay. It's good to see you. And we're going to continue to work hard for you all. And we're going to have a great session. And we're already starting to see a lot of things come to fruition. I'm meeting with the Lieutenant Governor on Thursday.
Beautiful.
My schedule is crazy busy this week because we're already moving for the future.
All right.
We always have to be working ahead, not only now, but for the future. So I'm excited to
Thank
see
you,
what we're
Mike.
going to do.
Proud of you, Michael.
We Democrats deliver.
All right.
And it's an honor to serve.
Thank you so much for coming on.
Thanks
Yes.
for anything you need from us, Michael. Okay, you let us know. If we
Take
can
care.
help in
Thanks
any
to
way.
all your
Thank you,
crew.
Michael.
Great production staff down there.
Yeah.
Look at that, John.
That was great,
What's
John.
the
To the
grade
point.
for Andrade's production staff?
Fantastic.
They
Wow.
didn't drop
That
the
was
mic,
great.
nothing, not even for
Nothing.
a second, no glitch.
That was Friday
They must have
podcast
some-
production,
John taught him.
not
John
Tuesday.
taught that crew.
They must have pretty phenomenal Wi-Fi in the State House.
What a great backdrop. For those of you who
nice
couldn't see it,
sound.
he was literally in the chamber.
We
You
should
know-
have some kind of a green screen behind us. We could be anywhere.
You're right.
We could be in Paris.
Where would you want to be right now?
We could go to
Me,
Egypt.
I can't say that.
Get on that
I
microphone.
can't be that
Yeah,
on
why
that
is the
microphone.
microphone on the
Me
side of your
There'd be
face?
Can't
like
even
me
hear
and like
you.
12 others in that picture.
With everything going on with national politics
Mike, you can
today,
pull that mic wherever you want.
Thank you,
It's
sir.
on an arm.
and people
Pull
who
it.
are watching national politics, it's so disheartening for everybody.
Yeah.
To hear somebody like Representative Andrade, who's like, I'm gonna work together as best I can,
Yep.
and being very positive about everything.
Enthusiastic.
We need more of that.
I agree. It's
This
always it's just
country
great to
needs more
see
of
him. You know, he loves Lockpot, and we love having him. I mean, it's really
Absolutely.
good to get an update like
It's
that.
just
and
a shame that he's not here in person because he would normally just bring us some chips and salsa.
Yeah.
Well, and
or
tequila.
tequila.
and Eli. So speaking of that, let's do some ads.
Yeah.
Can I mention one thing?
Yes.
You guys are like just on a roll.
Thank
But
you.
I was going to say, if we could take a breath for a second, it seemed like Indiana was going to be focusing on some education stuff.
Yeah.
this
How do you like
session.
that?
I love that.
K,
So
pre-K,
I just
early.
read like the ratio of counselors to students per state. Indiana's dead last.
Wow.
Oh, that doesn't
It's,
surprise me.
get
at all.
this, it's like 650 to 1
What?
counselor.
What?
They recommend 250 to 1.
And this
give
is
them
Indiana's dead
And
last.
John,
Even
this hits home for you because, of
250
course,
to 1.
Amy's a school counselor,
yeah,
right? Yeah.
yeah.
Don't
this
they
is-
give them
Wow.
coins? They could just flip coins and make their decisions. and shit. Here, save some money. Here's a penny.
All right, we're going to do some ads. We're going to come back for a good discussion about what happens with your heart in a sudden cardiac arrest situation, and talk about. Obviously, we've got Mr. Hamlin out at Buffalo, and we've also got some other stuff coming to talk about after the ads.
We're going to talk about two famous Hammond people, Kevin,
Yes.
that have been in the news this
We can
last
do that
week.
too.
Two famous
Before the
Hammond
end of
people.
this show, you will hear about two famous Hammond people in the news.
It's a teaser.
Except we're not going to talk about the one who just got booted out of Disney, right?
No, that's old news. Old news. We still love
Not
him.
to
though.
me.
We still love him.
Byway Brewing. Byway Brewing is a family-friendly microbrewery with a spacious tap room and outside patio. Our brewing equipment offers a unique backdrop for your private event like weddings, reunions, or corporate parties. We are conveniently located just off 8094 at the Kennedy Avenue South exit. Come on by and enjoy Byway's award-winning beers and unbeatable menu. For more information, check out bywaybrewing.beer.
Nobody has a better suffix than that.
It's
Dot
awesome.
beer. You should Phil Talon .beer.
Remember, they all had to be
It would be
.com back
fitting.
in the day. Now it's going to be craziness. Websites are
Phil
just going to be
Talon
everything.
MikeForite.xxx.
Oh,
X, yeah.
triple
Shaft.
X.
Shaft. Ronnie Prestimer Insurance Agency has been located for decades right on the Indianapolis Boulevard, not far from the Shoops, serving all your insurance needs. They specialize in a wide variety of insurance products and services, including, of course, auto and home and business and life and much, much more. Your pool, Kev, you need insurance for the pool. The Prestimer Agency serves over 1,000 people easily, and businesses all over Chicagoland and the Midwest. Call either of them, any of them. Ron, his kid Ron, Michael, his kid, at 219-844-0103, period.
Very nice read, Michael.
Best one yet.
Dr. Forright, very
Thank
good.
you. I was just
You know, I had a
Dr.
really,
Forright.XXX.
I had a really good idea, guys.
always.
So for the Cantrell and Cantrell read, if we could like play the like Law and Order theme song while we're reading it.
Well, let's skip that one, and I'm going to find it real quick.
All right,
Okay.
good.
I'm going to find a royalty-free Law and Order song.
Well, are you ready for Tortillas Nuevo Leon? Because it's
Oh,
coming
yeah,
next.
I can do that.
All right,
Yeah.
Tortillas Nuevo Leon is the gold standard in Mexican cuisine throughout the Midwest. Look for Tortillas Nuevo Leon's popular red and white label at your local grocery store and enjoy quality Mexican products made with local expertise.
Tortillas Nuevo León, hechas con amor, para ti y tu familia de todo corazón. Tortillas Nuevo León, hechas con amor, para ti y tu familia, de todo corazón.
Look at this. New guidance. It says treat obesity in kids early. No shit, huh? I mean, what, should you wait till... It's a
great headline.
Dr. Mike's
Get out
been
of the
preaching
house.
this
Wait till
for
they have
years.
their own show at 1,000.
Just hold up the
pound
Snickers
child.
card.
Yeah, put that up there again. Look at that. It's a headline.
Headline.
Treat them
That's
early.
good.
No
it's good. It's in the
kidding.
paper, right,
Wow.
Dr. Mike?
Treat them at all.
Ready, Linz?
Tri-Electron. Oh, is Lynn's doing Tri-Electronics?
Are
No,
you ready, John?
We're doing
I haven't played this.
Oh.
It says it's a Law and Order. Well, it's only 2 seconds long. What could this possibly
That's
be?
probably the dun dun.
Dum.
That's the one.
There you go.
Well,
Lindsay.
we'll start with that. How about that? Okay.
That's sexy.
All right, here we go. This is Cantrell and Cantrell, and this is the new intro.
Or maybe you could play that like right after I read it.
Good idea.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
All right.
All right.
All right. Cantrell and Cantrell, attorneys at law. Are you injured or in trouble with the law? Give us a call and schedule your consultation today with somebody who is in court and at the jail every day. Call John Cantrell at 219-554-4LAW or visit their website at bettercallcantrell.com. John and his wife. I wasn't
shit.
done
Too
yet.
early, John.
Amateur.
Well, there's
the
the
Tuesday
tech-
production.
Tuesday production crew.
There it is.
John and his wife Kristen make a great team and are waiting to hear from you.
Better call.
Wow.
Tri-Electronics. Tri-Electronics wants to be your complete communications provider. Tri-Electronics has been a leader in this industry for more than 55 years. We are dedicated to assisting our clients with their systems integration needs. Tri-Electronics has the expertise and experience to provide superior results for a wide variety of projects. For more information, call Tri-Electronics today at 800-722-6793.
Thanks to our sponsors, and welcome back. I do, one of the reasons we like to have Dr. Forright in the studio is not just to, look cute and talk about his dating app
Although he
status,
is very cute.
Thank you.
and see
can use some help.
his new svelte self.
Yeah,
Look at this.
We're halfway there.
You better get that microphone in your mouth because
It's
we're going
only
to talk to you.
halfway.
There's that
Seriously,
beautiful
this
voice.
man-
I got it.
It's,
I'm hitting the 60 this summer, so I'm going to be ripped.
Ripped for 60.
Ripped for 60.
But one of the reasons we want to have him on is when we do talk medical issues, and there's definitely been a medical issue, Phil, in the news over the last couple weeks, or a week, I guess, week and a half since Monday night. 2 weeks from Monday Night Football?
Yeah.
2 weeks.
Yep.
Where Damar Hamlin from the Buffalo Bills collapsed after a hit from the Cincinnati Bengals receiver, fell down, had to have CPR on the field.
9
is-
minutes.
9 minutes of CPR and was revived and brought to the hospital at University of Cincinnati and is now back in Buffalo recovering and seemingly up and about, neurologically intact. But these things happen, sudden cardiac arrests.
Sudden
So
cardiac.
we brought you in as the expert. And we have Lindsay also.
Well, they asked me first, Dr. Mike.
Yes.
They asked me first.
PhilTalon.md.
And then I said, could you bring Dr. Mike in to help me with this?
We talk about. we
Phil,
all
what do you
discuss.
know about health?
Listen, you want to
Look
take
at him.
care of your heart.
Listen, you don't want to have a Mack truck run into your heart, okay?
Well, no,
That's a-
explain that. So do you believe that Damar Hamlin had like an underlying cardiac problem, or do we know that yet, or is this just something that can happen?
They have to look to see, and believe me, they ask all those questions about sudden cardiac death. When's the last physical you saw, Linz, that didn't have questions about sudden cardiac death of a family member or somebody just crapping out on you?
Every single time that we do a physical or an assessment, we always ask for family history.
But these
heart
NFL
issues.
players, they have to go through a complete,
an
huge
EKG
physical.
doesn't show 50% of heart attacks prior to them happening. I mean, so there's no way of really sort of determining these things.
What happened to him?
Mind you, he got hit by a truck in the center of his chest.
Which will do it.
It'll do it.
Yeah, if you have a spear.
But those hits happen.
Take a bowling ball.
150, 200 times a game.
So I know what you're looking for. You're wondering whether you have an angle on suing the equipment company. And I know.
He's approaching it
I didn't
from
say
a
that.
lawyer's
Steve
standpoint.
just texted me that.
Is the
but
sternal plate low enough to protect him from this shot to the above the solar plexus? And the solar plexus was originally discussed from Indiana Jones, Professor Jones, before he did the films. He mapped out the entire solar plexus.
Didn't know that.
Yeah. Harrison Ford. And
we didn't know we were going there today, Phil, did we?
but anyway, it was the shot to the chest. Now, mind you, they're going to find out, did he have a vaccination booster recently? Those are questions. We lost an 18-year-old MMA fighter last weekend.
I saw that.
Who had died of myocarditis, whose two siblings are both champions. How did an 18-year-old boosted to get out of Taiwan to go fight?
Well, the interesting thing...
What happened there, Phil?
Good question.
What I didn't realize, and I learned as I read a little bit more about this, is sudden cardiac arrest happens. It happens every day.
It happens every day. His was a little bit... He got pounded.
But we,
Come on in there.
Come on in there. Here's Lindsay. Yes, thank you, Lindsay.
Thank you, Linz. He got pounded in the chest, and so it would make sense that if you get hit by a car in the chest, that you have a little bit of an electronic, little problem. It goes awry for a minute, and so it just had. They had to keep. He got 2 AEDs. He got blasted twice with electronics to refire him, and they had to keep him pumped for 8 minutes on the field.
There's another video I want to show you. This happened, and this is another famous sporting event
Soccer
incident.
guy.
Christian Eriksen from Denmark. I talked about it a couple episodes ago. Here's what happened, and if you haven't seen this video, here it is. It's another collapse on the field.
Yeah, and for those watching, if you can see my mouse, it's right here.
If you're familiar with
It's
soccer, it's near the corner
closest
flag.
to the corner.
Closest to the corner flag.
To make his way in for Finland.
Yeah, and you see, he didn't get pounded.
No.
No.
He just collapsed.
To make his way in for Finland.
Right there. And he needed AED.
Play is going to be
quick response.
halted
Yeah,
again, and this
he
does
responded to the
look
first blast
serious.
with AED.
Yep.
Well,
So
Christian.
thanks, John, for
Well,
that.
So, I think that it's okay. So I think it's probably important because a lot of people don't really know how their heart works. Is that like your heart is controlled by electricity, like conduction. Electricity makes sure that your heart keeps pumping because it is a muscle and it's constantly contracting and not throughout your entire life. And if you get hit hard enough, it's going to disrupt that electrical current. And it's just going to stop working.
In Hamlin's case, but like in Eriksen's case, didn't even get hit.
No, and it's possible. I've had a student previously when I was a teacher who died while engaging in like a football because his heart just stopped working.
Yeah, and
they're
that'll happen
pushing
too.
themselves.
It does
They're working hard, and also a lot of people they want to be entertained. They're not necessarily concerned with the safety of the people who are entertaining them.
So in Eriksen's case, I knew he came back and he's playing professional soccer at the top level. He's in the Premier League right now. 259 days after that incident, he was back on the field after being implanted with what's called a cardioverter defibrillator in his body. So let me ask you, do you think Hamlin will ever play football again?
I don't think he should ever take another shot to his chest like that.
And how can you prevent that?
And well, so
if
they
you're
implant a device that used to take up what would be equipment that would fill this room, and now it's the size of a 50-cent piece.
Wow.
Okay, so now they put.
Do they
that
have
in.
a 50-cent piece anymore?
I don't
They're
know if they
around.
do. I have them at home.
My dad has them.
I'm in sets, but if you have now this ability to refire it, or just it recognizes that your rhythm's gone off and it just says, "I screw that shit," bow, and it just hits you. You don't want that thing hit by a truck. You don't want a truck to run over that thing and hope that it works good like your watch. Put that under the tire of your car. See how well it works for you.
Also, you got to think about what are the repercussions that are going to affect football as a whole after this kind of event.
Yeah.
He got hit squarely in the chest just right to the point where it put him in cardiac arrest. Are they going to change the regulations when it comes to shoulder pads? And are they going to have a chest plate now? Or
Not a fucking
Flag
chance.
football, NFL.
Flag
chance.
football.
No
when they used to
chance.
play no pads, no
These
helmets.
guys denied they denied here. We lost Franco Harris 2 weeks ago. Franco Harris was a dear friend of Gale Sayers, and Gale I knew till his death, and both of them were zombies at the end of their days.
No kidding.
Oh yeah, Franco was gone, and you're going to see Joe Namath, all these guys that are head hits. You think they're going to react and say stop hitting each other the way they're hitting each other? They're not going to change that.
So-
spearing. It wasn't Jack Tatum who was out there hitting.
True.
we could at least change the equipment, though, to be a little bit more protective.
Well, one of the things that I am amazed at, and this keeps coming up with these incidents, and really just they're kind of everywhere, but not everywhere, are these AEDs. I mean, I know they're at City Hall, Phil. Mm-hmm. They're all over City Hall. Yep. I think they're at most public facilities.
Public facilities.
At City Hall, do they make you guys do a training to know how to work them?
No. But you know what? It's interesting you bring that up, Lindsay. I read something in this. There's actually a good article in the Times today from John Doherty, and it mentions the training. And it's supposed to be so simple. They did a test. They tested paramedics, and then they tested sixth graders on the AED. Mm-hmm. And the instructions on the AED, which I guess are audio and video.
Well, they also
27 seconds worse for the sixth graders.
Yeah, and
That's
also the visual instructions are written out like an IKEA instruction manual. It's
interesting.
Just pictures
sort of like
of
my
people.
caloric guide. There's that simplicity. If anybody hasn't watched, one of the better training features out there for AEDs is Daniel Craig in Casino Royale. And he gets poisoned,
Yeah,
right?
I know exactly
And he
what
goes
you're
out
talking
to his
about.
car, and he's got to put the thing on himself as he's dying.
Yeah.
And he slaps him on his chest as he's dying, and he's like, "I'm dying. I better get this shit out." But he hits it. He gets it. One of the connections.
It seems like they should be everywhere, right, John?
Well, they should be, but then you have this responsibility of understanding what to do in that case. If I had one at my office, and I said, "Oh, I have an AED in case you have an MI," well, then I better have all the backup shit in order to use for that. If I'm starting to use that stuff, I better have the remainder of the meds and the
But
equipment.
I'm talking for just immediate bystander
Yes, it's
type
a good
help.
thing. But it's a good thing. You should have them where they have fire extinguishers.
Right.
You know,
They
that
should be
kind
in
of-
every car.
Ooh, I like that.
Put them in
Well,
every car.
you do
Make
have
it an
them.
option.
You
Yeah.
do have them in every
Man.
car.
You know what's going to happen, though?
What's going to happen?
It's going to
battery.
take one person trying to use it on
Hook it up
somebody.
to the nipples.
Somebody gets
Right.
killed. They're sued, and it's going to be.
Don't you think that's happened
Everybody's
already,
gonna be
though?
scared.
It has
to touch
happened
anybody.
already, actually.
Yeah, there's always going to be somebody
Yeah.
who says you
There's
weren't
always
instructed
somebody
correctly.
who and it happens a lot in hospitals. Is that when somebody is a full code, you're doing CPR,
Compressions?
you break their ribs or injure them during that process of bringing them back to life,
Sure.
and
You
then
don't
they
forget it,
sue
that's
for
for sure.
those injuries.
Of course they do.
Well, I think John's got onto something. If you could have an AED package at when you buy like your Ford or your Chevy. I mean, you buy a navigation package.
There's
have
like
one
the
in your
cold
trunk.
weather
They have vacuums
package.
Cold
in there.
weather package.
Right.
Cardiac
He's coming.
package.
Cardiac package.
If you're over a
includes
certain
an,
age.
includes an AED.
So what's that insurance you get in case you crap out and they don't want the kids paying your
Life insurance?
No, they have the one for the car. If he's 88 and he's bought a car and if he dies, the car's paid off.
Oh,
I didn't
So
know
they
that.
I
should
didn't know you
have
could
it
do
for old
that.
people like that.
I like that.
Yeah.
I
do that.
have naloxone in my car. I should just get myself
Put an AED.
and just be immobile.
Yes.
You got the
Mobile
naloxone.
nurse.
Yes. Have you heard this thing where, when you're doing compressions, you're supposed to think of the Bee Gees song "Staying Alive"?
That's a 120 BPM song.
Wow.
Oh, I didn't know
Actually,
that.
most pop songs
Wish
are
we could play
120
that.
BPM.
Anybody
so.
want to sing that?
That's a little quick.
Dung
Stay
dung.
alive.
That's a lot of work.
That's the compressions in your head as you're doing the chest compressions.
I have a question for anyone in
Lindsay,
this
that was
room.
great.
Thanks.
Is this? It seems like this is happening more, or is it being reported on more?
I think it's being reported on more.
Yeah, it just happened on.
But you've
on
never
TV. It
seen.
happened on
Phil?
mainstream
What are you
TV.
shaking?
You're shaking your head
for,
about?
Phil?
Because I just think that, look, there was a famous hockey video, Chris Pronger. He took a puck to the heart.
Yes.
Same thing happened. This is many, many years ago. I think it was like 90-something, right? Or I don't know. It was a long time ago.
Collapse, right?
So I just think every once in a while, when you're in these type of contact sports, there's going to be these fluky type injuries that happen. And by the way, they were prepared. They saved his life. He's alive. So they did the right thing. I'm not picking on the
Baseball.
NFL. I just don't think, do we overreact to the one-off that happens every 10 or 20 years?
Well, it's
A
not
one-off,
it's not
it-
a one-off because it's happening to teenagers.
It definitely
all
brings
the way until
it into
their
the
50s.
forefront.
Yeah.
Soccer,
We're all aware of
tennis,
it.
And
football.
also, just the public in general
Tennis,
is very
wow.
mercurial, and they have a lot of emotions. So when you put something online that evokes that emotion, a lot of people are going to react very strongly to it. But I think people are going to forget this happened in
I
about
think
a
it's
month.
I think it's a
Yeah,
good thing to
I
bring to
agree
the
with you, Vince.
forefront and remind us about.
is.
In fact,
It
I
definitely
want
doesn't
to
hurt.
shoot out a couple of.
He's living, so
I want to shoot out a couple of
survive.
web addresses. So and we
Oh.
all should be certified in CPR if you can. So CPR.heart.org and redcross.org. Get certified. CPR.
And
Yes.
PhilTalon.beer.
And you don't have to put your
Yes.
mouth
And
on the
Michael Fry
human
dot
any
triple
longer.
X.
You do not have to put
Correct.
your mouth
I read
on
that
the people.
too.
Yeah, you don't.
Just
If they
the
have a-
compressions.
Just open them up. Make sure the tongue's out of the way. So you sweep their mouth and make sure the tongue's not flapped back.
They
into
gave
the
me a
throat.
little doodad that I can use
Doodad.
to like not make mouth contact, but still give them air.
Oh.
Yeah.
But I mean, you're just blowing carbon dioxide into their lungs. That's not going to help them at all.
See that? She's
Well,
on
Dr.
top.
Mike,
Yeah.
thank you for doing that informative
Service.
talk about
Oh, no,
cardiac
informative.
arrest.
I would just tell you that even baseball, if you get a pitcher who takes a line drive to the chest, he's in jeopardy too. I mean, who needs 120 mile an hour right to the chest?
You know what would make me happy? If Dr. Mike sends a bill to the podcast for his
Yes.
medical.
no, I
services
can't. I don't
today.
have good
He
cred,
doesn't
the
have
cred any
credentials.
longer.
Oh,
I
that's
don't
right.
have
Just
the
ask the
street cred.
locomotive. Tom will tell
Yeah.
you. No way.
I'm just happy to be here. If anything I say adds anything to anybody's understanding, I'm happy to have been here.
When,
You
Tom,
know
when
what?
Tom comes back on Friday, and by the way, we've got a great guest we're going to announce at the end of the show. But we're going to have a great guest on Friday. When
It
Tom
might be
comes
me.
back,
I'm
coming
It
back.
might be Phil.
Yeah.
might be.
I'm coming.
For all I know, I'm not even on
No.
Fridays anymore.
I'm going to sit there.
Kevin, I need to talk to you after the podcast.
Tom will be back. The locomotive will be back Friday. But we're going to do some ads, and we're going to come back and talk about some national politics and this whole speaker debacle. I can't wait to hear from John on this.
And how Hammond played a factor.
Yes. Oh, I
love
can't
that.
wait about
People
that.
aren't-
We're going
they
to talk.
don't realize.
You know
all
what?
about
I
it.
also, just before we like pivot to a new topic, I just want to tell Dr. Mike that I am offended that he chose to retire before I graduated to work for him.
Well, listen, I can certainly work side by side with you as a volunteer.
Okay, sounds good.
If you listen, I'm
this
going
got
back to
awkward.
Poland.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, if you wanna
Going back
come-
to Poland.
I'm going back to Poland to treat the Ukrainians once this war's over.
You know, I know you're humble, but can we just mention
No.
Dr. Foray? He got an award.
No.
What?
From
Whoa.
the country of
Whoa.
Ukraine
Nope.
for his work over there.
Yes.
Is it
Listen,
true?
I want to
Awesome.
say thank
All
you.
right.
I'm not making a big deal.
We're not going to push it.
I didn't know anything
Even
about
though you
this.
wore the flag upside down on the
It was
video.
only because I was stoned.
Wait, you were driving. You're the
Thank
driver.
you. Only there. Once I was there. I did put it on once I
Gotcha.
was in the
Understood.
room.
All right, let's do some ads and come back. Congratulations, by
Thank
the
you,
way.
though. And
Congrats.
listen, yes.
Calumet Brewing. It's time to experience Michelob Ultra. With only 95 calories, 2.6 carbs, and 4.2% ABV, it's the perfect way to start the new year and keep those resolutions in check. Whether you're a pro athlete or a daily step counter, the journey is only worth it if you enjoy it. It was like capital letters, so I had
That
to change it
was.
up a little bit. Why is it in capital? Who did that?
Steve Kellogg,
just
business
really
manager.
excited.
Thanks, Steve. That's why Michelob Ultra brews a light lager that's worth every single sip. So no matter if you're kicking back after a workout or enjoying a day on the slopes, you're sure to enjoy a great beer like Charlie, a day on the
That's
slopes.
right, Dan the Slope.
Head over to the
Have a
Cal
beer.
Brew or the he's 18. We do
Oh,
not
true.
recommend drinking
Nope,
for
nope.
18-year-olds.
Oh, that's right.
I want to
Or in the
make
morning.
that clear.
Reef.
I forgot the law for a second there.
Yeah. Head over to
exciting.
the Cal Brew or the Michelob Ultra websites and social media pages for details on this great family of beers. Enjoy the Ultra lifestyle with beers and cheers responsibly.
Cal Brewing. Hey, how about Powering America? Are you looking for a new career in 2023? If you're a person who enjoys working with your hands,
Michael.
yeah, who doesn't? And a challenging and ever-changing environment, an electrical apprenticeship may be for you. Why don't you think about it? Earn a competitive wage. You gain valuable experience right along the way. Did we mention that the employer pays benefits, including health insurance, pension, annuities? If so, apply. 697.com. POW! Sponsored by Powering America. Apply. 697.com.
That's the website. Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah, man.
Wait, what's is the website
697.
apply 697?
Apply.
Apply697.com.
Apply697.com.
All right. A lot of domains flying around today.
There's
Yes.
a lot.
It should be put up on our. John's probably got those on the bottom somehow. I bet he's all over that.
All right. Can I go now?
Yes.
Okay. Rogers Roofing.
Can't leave, but you can go.
When you want the best for your home and family, trust the best in the business. Rogers Roofing. Rogers Roofing has transformed homes in Northwest Indiana and Chicagoland for more than 54 years, providing quality roofing, siding, gutters, and windows, all backed by the best warranties in the industry. To learn more and to schedule your free consultation, visit rogersroofing.com or call 219-933-9145 today. That is rogersroofing.com or call 219-933-9145 today. That's Rogers Roofing. And remember, At Rogers Roofing, excellence is expected every time.
Nice work.
Yay.
Thank you.
High expectations they have there.
It's expected.
Finish this up, Phil.
Oh, okay. Misprint Printing. Misprint specializes in delivering the highest quality signs and printing on time and under budget. Misprint's experience and technology allows them to offer custom, commercial, on-demand printing and sign solutions. Rick Balzenberger, our friend, and his team have served Chicagoland and Northwest Indiana for over 30 years. They have 2 convenient locations to serve you in Munster and in Hammond.
Knowing Ricky's listening.
Yeah, Ricky.
Making sure you read his ad.
Yeah,
Well,
Ricky. A lot of that's Ricky's work over here.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of this.
Oh, yeah.
And Ricky helped me with the caloric understanding signs. He printed that with me. He was part of that whole program. We're not done with
It's
that.
like this has been revived today. Have you noticed that it's back?
Yeah.
Well, I want you to know that this shouldn't
What do we
go
call
away.
those? Caloric?
Those are just a
Caloric.
caloric demonstration. It's like an active demonstration. Instead of just you get, if you're lucky enough to have gotten the pre-K education, then the K
And the
with
funding that
mathematics, and you know
Representative
how to do
Andrade.
division. I love Andrade. And so if you weren't a mathematician, this will tell you how long it actually takes you just to smoke off some of that garbage.
All right.
And they endorse the garbage.
We're going to shift a little bit here to some national politics. And one of the things that happened over, we're going to talk about the speaker. I'm going to call it debacle, but maybe it wasn't a debacle. We'll get into that.
It was definitely entertaining.
It was for sure. And John, one of the things that you had brought up as kind of over break, and this we're going back a little bit, but that Donald Trump had this big announcement. Do you remember this, John?
I do. The NFT cards. But back up, because you're right. He teased a huge, major announcement for a day.
Adjectives he likes to use.
And it set the world on fire. It was headlines everywhere. For 24 hours, what is Donald Trump going to announce? Is he going to announce his VP pick? Is he going to announce he's running for Speaker of the House? Who knows?
We didn't.
This was
Everybody
huge.
on the edge
He's
of
a
your
loose
seat.
cannon.
And, yeah, everyone's on the edge of their seat. My dad was freaking out. Guys, what is he going to announce?
He announced his New Year's Eve party, and guess how many people came? Nobody.
Oh.
No news, no
Come
media, nobody. Yeah, nobody came to the Mar-a-Lago.
What did he do, John?
This is what he did.
Oh, yeah, it's trading card.
Look at
Hello, everyone. This is Donald Trump. Hopefully, your favorite president of all time, better than Lincoln, better than Washington, with an important announcement to make. I'm doing my first official Donald J. Trump NFT collection right here.
That's all you need to see.
Yeah,
$99.
That was your guy, bro.
CollectTrumpCards.com. I can't believe I just gave that out on left of
Don't
center.
do that.
That's
Don't.
another URL.
If you want to throw your money away,
Yeah, they're all sold
Wow.
out, just so you know.
No way.
Yes. They sold out in 24 hours.
Okay.
it goes directly to
Can
the
we-
January 6th.
Can we
legal
talk
change.
conspiracy a little bit here, John? Because I read a little bit about this. There were ways for organizations to buy these cards because it's not political, did not go to his campaign and went directly to him, right? There were ways this was a way to create a way where you can legally
Get him money.
give him money
Interesting.
by
Broke.
saying you're purchasing these cards.
Wow.
Just saying, there's a lot of speculation out there.
Be nice to see the if there was a list of the purchasers.
Yeah. Who bought what? How many different countries? Or
But it's private. How could you get that list?
You may not be able to.
But if you're a not-for-profit organization, you could say, you know what, we got to get, we want to have a set of these cards.
Yep.
You could actually donate money to.
could you buy 1,000 sets of the cards?
You never know.
Wow, didn't hear that. Well, that was the big announcement. And the GOP just kept rolling right into the new session of Congress.
Right in.
trying to select its speaker.
I don't get it, man.
How many votes was it? 15? 15 votes?
Was it 15?
Was it on the
I
15?
believe it was 15.
Okay.
Yeah, number.
John, why don't you set the stage for us? Because as the known conservative token
GOP
conservative
fan.
on the
Token.
on the podcast, what were you thinking as this started out? Set the table.
To be honest, okay, set the table. Speaker of the House vote, Republican-controlled Congress now, and 20
House, right?
Right. 20 of these lawmakers, Republican lawmakers, were holding out against McCarthy because they felt he was too liberal for the Republican Party. So for 3-4 days, how long did this go on?
I want to say close to that. Had to be
Yeah.
better part of a
4.
week,
It
right?
says 4. Yeah.
Okay, so for 4 days, you have some of two of the 20, Gates, Boebert, saying we will never, like McCarthy will never be Speaker of the House. Matter of fact, Tom even talked about it on the premiere episode or the second episode, like how making jokes how McCarthy's never going to get this. And sure enough, he got it. How did he get it? What happened? Why did the 20 flip their votes?
And
what are you
why?
laughing at, Phil?
Dr. Mike is making
faces
visuals
with
while
the-
you're talking.
Yeah, that's how he did it.
I wasn't laughing at you.
He gave up a lot.
If you watch the video, you'll
He's
see
on
what
his
Dr.
knees.
Mike was doing.
Yeah, he was on his knees.
But I think, to me, it was almost, John, like, what? Especially with Gates and Boebert, they seemed, it was not just politics. It was personal. Like, there's something back there that got them so pissed off at this guy. I don't think it was just like, let's get what we want, or let's try to get what we want. It was something else. I thought there was more personal.
I agree. It seemed like there was something personal to it.
Yeah.
But then you watch this unfold over a few days, and one by one, they started flipping to McCarthy. What was going on? What did they get? Some of these concessions, Kevin, you sent a link, and I have a link, too, about some of these concessions. And I'll be honest. So, Kevin, you sent the Slate article.
I didn't think it was as good as the other one.
Here's what McCarthy gave up for speakership. And in the Slate article, they refer to all these 20 holdouts as far right, hard right. But some of the concessions I don't think are that bad.
I agree with you. So if they end up being true, it was actually some of the stuff even we've talked about on the podcast with Tom when he was talking about, like, for example, getting rid of these big omnibus bills and having them be single issue bills so that there can be real debate in Congress. That was one of the concessions. 72 hours to read the bill, single issue bills, up or down. I think that's a great thing.
If they end up clouding them.
If they got that, that's a win for every American.
Every American.
Yeah.
Instead of throwing garbage in it, they throw the bill out completely.
That's right.
Yeah.
I want to hear Phil's thoughts.
Well, one, I just want to have the tidbit thrown in there that John, are you aware that Hammond played a role with this?
I want that story.
How so?
So I believe it's Rogers, right, Kevin? Is that the right? Is that
Representative Mike, the guy who went after Gates. Do you have that video, John? The guy that went to go strangle Gates.
Well, just because Gates is
That guy?
60-year-olds around the nation.
Guess where he's from, John?
Is he from Hammond?
Born in Hammond, Indiana.
God bless that
Yeah,
guy.
but how long did he live here?
Well,
We don't
not
know
important.
Okay.
But he was pissed.
I don't
Born.
know.
He was going to go after
Fake
him.
He was
news.
pissed.
I was
They had
like,
to separate him.
see, he had some region roots. Of course, the guy from the region's going to go
gonna
throttle
They're
pound
Gates.
fighters. They're fighters in Hammond.
You know, it's funny you mention this because I do have a clip. At the end of this clip is where this Hammond native jumps towards
Born
Gates.
in Hammond. He's an
Because he's
Alabama
a father.
congressman, grew up in Alabama, but
He's a
he was
father.
born in Hammond.
Do you guys wanna see this clip?
Probably, by the way, at St. Margaret's. Just
Yeah,
for-
could be.
Most likely.
Yeah.
Do you think
Go
he's
figure.
upset that Franciscan closed?
Maybe that was why he went after Gates.
He was so angry. He was taking
Gates
it out
isn't
on
a
Gates.
Catholic. Gates isn't. He could be a priest,
Yes.
So let me set up this clip for those that hadn't seen it. This was the most exciting thing on the House floor.
but that was great.
McCarthy, one vote shy of Speaker of the House,
14th vote.
walks up to Gates and is like, who knows what he said. There was a lot of speculation.
Well, let's wait, John. The important thing here is that in the 14th vote, they thought they had it, and Gates, instead of voting yes, voted present.
Right.
So that was the only vote they needed. They were one vote short, and Gates voted present, which I was like, that is some balls.
Yeah.
I was like, what is Gates? I mean, and I'm no, everybody that listens to this show knows I'm no fan of Gates, but I'm like, what in the
Yeah.
world is this guy so pissed at
Yeah.
McCarthy about?
Yeah.
Got to be something.
What
personal.
did he do?
We'll
Well,
never know.
maybe it was the $1.7 trillion budget. Maybe it was the endless checks to Ukraine. Maybe it's the red flag laws. That's the GOP. I think a lot of these 20 holdouts are against.
Really?
Yes.
Against Ukraine.
Against Ukraine, but against the endless money going to Ukraine.
Did they support?
Wars are expensive.
Did
They don't
su-
understand that the dollars spent here are just a fraction of what we would be spending if we were actually at war with them.
Were they fighting against
Our
expenditures
lives. Good
when,
point,
when
Mike.
Trump
Those
was
are
president?
stupid points
Is
to
my
make.
question to you, John.
Phil, I don't disagree with you. Trump's budgets were insane, too.
Well, they were
I don't
good
even
for
know,
him.
was Gates in office under Trump?
But the point is this: when
at
you're,
the end.
when you're saying they're mad about Ukraine and 1.7 trillion, that's not true. This is national politics. If you're a Republican, you vote one way. If you're a Democrat, you vote the other. It doesn't matter whether it's good or bad for this country. That's a fact. If Trump's president, they'll support it 100%. If Biden's president, they'll go against it 100%. Don't act like, oh, no, it's because they're mad about Ukraine. And no, this is national politics today. All you do is go against the other side. It doesn't matter whether it's good for our country, and that's Democrats and Republicans both, and that's why people are so pissed off.
And
That's
I'm,
a problem.
and I'm
That's a
curious on
problem.
whether or not this, group of 20, that I heard somebody call them the Taliban 20, which I didn't think made any sense,
didn't
but
know.
whatever.
Okay.
And this group of 20 holdouts, whether or not them holding out will change the way the House does business. I don't know. I'm curious because if it comes out that the things that they asked for, come to fruition, it'll be curious on what happens in the House. Because I've always, I've said this a couple times, and John, I said this to you, that the Republicans really failed during the early part of Trump from 16 to 18 when they had control of the House, the Senate, the presidency. They couldn't get anything done. The famous thumbs down by McCain. They couldn't overturn Obamacare. It's almost like they're too smart for themselves. I want to see what the Republicans do now that they have control of the House. Will they stick together? I mean, call Democrats sheep or lemmings or whatever you want, but when they need to vote, they all vote together.
Yeah.
So this will be John. I don't know if you want to lead. I got off the video because this was the.
Oh, so let me show you. So at the end of this video is when the Hammond, what's his name?
Mike Rogers.
Rogers
from,
lunges
Alabama.
at Gates. But listen, I haven't shown you guys this clip. We now know all the dialogue that was exchanged.
We do?
Yes.
Wow.
We're going to hear it right now. This is an exclusive on Lockpod.
All right.
Whoa.
You ready?
Yes.
Son, what does a gopher build? Can you say it?
I knew this
Who
was what you were
knows?
gonna pull up to.
A really rich doctor said you were a bummer. And I think you don't know algebra. No, we're talking science, bud. The science of what? Is that a tiger? One of your friends promised me I could flick you in your face. Absolutely, you may not do that.
Hit him in his cringy smirk for real.
Say any cereal name. Cinnamon Toast Crunch. You're like people in the 12th century. Why'd he say it like that? You're a formulated pickle
Worse than
popper.
that, he's a storm cloud.
I don't like you, dude. And there's a tiger. That's it. You two guys sent the tiger.
I
What?
did
No.
not me.
What
I mean,
tiger? That's.
I mean,
that is reprehensible.
okay, yeah, okay,
Brad?
I'm a horrible person.
Brad, I'll report you to Nadine. I just want your leg bones to be okay.
Wow, John.
Wait. Here.
I brought the tiger.
There's the tiger again.
Really, you got somebody on the organ now? Hey man, you're gonna pay for dinner.
There he is.
You're gonna pay. No.
He's got a rug on his head.
Like, did you see that's a great TikTok video, by the way. But
Yes.
there was one of the congressmen, like, they grabbed Rogers and like covered his mouth.
That was wild.
Because he's from the region.
yeah.
calling
He was
him a-
going to go region on him.
Can't
He
trust
was
Hammond
calling
people.
him a teen screwer.
To not
Yeah.
lose it
Yeah.
in that situation.
I want to show one more clip.
Across the state
All right,
line.
one more
teen
clip
screwer.
before we finish up today.
Yep. One more clip before we wrap it up. MTG. Total fraud.
Somebody, by the way, that we've loved to
Oh my
have
God.
fun with.
Can I tell
Marjorie
you guys
Taylor
something
Greene.
really quick though about her?
Yes.
Okay, apparently she auditioned for American Idol in the early 2000s.
No
and
way.
somebody released her audition clip.
Oh, I need to see
No.
that.
Oh.
We need
It
to get
is
that.
Real?
Horrible.
wow.
Yes.
John,
It
we
is
need to get
definitely
that.
her.
Can we please get that?
Yes.
Put that down on the notes.
Yes.
Get that. All right. So Marjorie Taylor Greene, we've had fun with her on this show many a time. I'll leave my opinions to myself but we all know we're not fan. I mean, I'm not a fan. But this was something. And John had to probably flip when you heard this.
Well, this is one of the ripples that have come out of this speaker debacle, as you've called it. One of them was Crenshaw calling the 20 holdouts terrorists. He's now lost his chair position because of that,
Wow.
supposedly, on the Homeland Security Committee. But the other one was MTG, who's been this... What do you want to call her? Whatever you want to call her, guys. Ultra MAGA, whatever.
you'd think she'd be with the holdouts.
You would think she'd be with the holdouts.
Wouldn't you?
She's all about uniparty McCarthy.
Right.
And now, here's the latest clip. Check this out.
Top target of the Democrats and the January 6th
do you
committee.
believe that Joe Biden is a legitimately elected president?
Of course Joe Biden's the president. That's always a silly question.
Okay.
Wow.
It's the first time she ever said that.
I mean,
wow.
And it's almost like she says it like, what? This was like a talking point for us for 2 years to the midterms. We're beyond that now.
Dude, screw her, man.
So, I mean,
John
she
still
is
doesn't buy
so
I
Team
think
McCarthy.
John is he's
John
good.
won't give
How?
up.
Why? Why
Right.
is she Team McCarthy?
Wouldn't you think she'd be like one of the top holdouts?
I don't
Yeah,
get it.
I think so. I would personally.
I
think
want to
she
know.
would.
It's just so curious, all this backroom stuff that.
It's a lot of wasted time.
Yeah.
Term limits and less money in politics. We got to get those two things
Well,
accomplished.
and they
or-
said term limits are going to come up for a vote. That was one of the
should do
things
that.
Please.
that the 20 holdouts said.
Maybe we
they're
could
gonna get.
save our country if we
instead of
make
these
some
guys
changes
dying
like
in
this.
office.
I don't want to forget
with money in their
real
pocket.
quick. These are the things I heard that McCarthy had to give up. Right?
Yeah.
A single congressperson to remove the speaker. So instead of I think it needed 5 before. A new committee to look into the quote unquote, weaponization of the FBI. I don't know what that committee is going to be called. Term limits will be put up for a vote. We talked about the single subject bills, not omnibus bills. They're going to put the Texas border plan up before a vote. So that's a big conservative plan for the border. COVID funding will end and all mandates will end. Of course, this is just the House. I don't know how they could do that by themselves, but that's something. And budget bills would stop the endless increase in the debt ceiling, which if that's true, that's
fine.
Let's see what
happens.
happens.
None of us want the debt ceiling. I mean, none of us want debt to increase.
No. John, we got one final thing before we sign off today.
Well,
this is great, by the way. 2 things?
You got to do the Hammond. We told them there's 2 Hammond.
That's right. All right.
Yeah.
So, John, let's finish up the story on the speaker, because this was another bizarre thing that John found online.
So this is how it ends. McCarthy, Speaker of the House, all this riffraff for 3 days, and suddenly, this video comes out of a pallet of champagne.
He deserves it.
Taxpayer-funded champagne being wheeled into McCarthy's new office.
Like with 3 guards, escorted by interns.
Yeah. Does this feel right to you?
No.
Doesn't something about this just make you a little nauseous?
Yeah, they should have hidden it a little bit better.
Well,
right?
that is
No.
You think like Boebert and Gates were at the champagne popping party? I mean, what?
Rome is burning, and these guys are wheeling in champagne, man.
It looks like there's 1, 2, 3. It looks like there's about 60 bottles.
It kind of reminds me like
You got to take your wins when you get them.
You know, like when they have it in the World Series, and they have it in like the one locker room, and then oh my God, the Mets just lost. Get it over to the Yankees locker room or something.
It was in Hawkins
Yes,
because they thought he might have won. They didn't know what was going to happen.
It was in Hawkins' office, and they had to move it to McCarthy quickly.
Because they were like, the Republicans are going to screw this present, absent thing up, and Hawkins is going to win by accident.
These guys were running around, and they were either at Jeffrey's office, Hawkins, and McCarthy, and these interns were just shuffling the champagne around all over the Capitol.
Crazy.
What a mess, man.
Yeah.
What's the second hand?
Now we've got a speaker.
Maybe this podcast is going to save our country.
That looks like
John,
munitions.
We're going to come together because we agree on a lot of the baloney that's going on out there.
Yeah.
I'm saying baloney.
One season at a time.
I don't want to put $1 in the swear jar.
Oh.
I didn't plan this. Dr. Mike just happened to bring this, but we said there's 2 famous Hammond people right now in the show 1923, which is a prequel to Yellowstone.
So good.
It's one of the best first 4 episodes I've seen on many. I don't know. I put it up in their top 5. It's that good.
Harrison Ford, baby.
Hammond native, and I'm going to say her name wrong. Amina Nieves graduated from Morton High School, went to the Hammond Academy of Performing Arts, which is also at Morton High School, and she is one of the top stars in 1923.
Which character?
She plays the Indian girl who's being mistreated.
No!
Hessville, John. Hessville girl.
Yes.
Right from Hammond.
She's great.
Isn't she awesome? Dude, she is one of the
She is one of the main
roles.
leads. Yeah.
Morton High School.
Oh, you guys got to watch this show.
Go
It's
Govs.
great.
We'll do it now.
Go Govs. All right.
It's amazing.
Well, listen, guys.
Wow.
Without the locomotive here, it's never easy, but you guys made it
fun.
as easy as we could without him.
Well, you brought an A player to the B team
I
and
see that.
2 A players, and look.
And Lindsay's here.
Lindsay, they're
Johnny's
insulting
here.
you again.
I'm also here.
Lindsay's
Lindsay, baby.
she's just part of the team, period,
LMP.
Tuesday and Friday.
No, you've insulted her. She's
I'm
here on
not here
Tuesdays,
on Fridays because
Phil.
I have clinical
Thank you.
I love
taking
you,
care
Lindsay.
of children.
They basically just, you know what they just said to you, right, Lindsay?
I don't
you.
pay attention to
You're
them
the best.
anymore. They don't really apply to me. So
There you go.
Oh.
Boom.
We love having you.
I was looking for that.
Gajewski's
Roger
all right,
Taylor
too.
Green
Oh,
video.
Jill's great. But thanks for coming in. I
Thank you.
appreciate it. I know
It was
you guys
fun.
are busy. Michael, thank you for
Always.
twice in a row
Listen,
coming
yeah,
in.
I'll come in every time.
John, great job. Thanks to Representative Andrade. And on Friday, this Friday, I promised we'd mention it, we are having Adam Wren, political reporter extraordinaire, in the studio to answer some tough questions from us and probably ask some tough questions of the
that'll be
locomotive.
fun.
So
I'm gonna watch that
It's going to be a good
I'll watch
episode,
too.
so
I'll watch.
please tune in on Friday. The locomotive will be back. We'll be all in studio with the real A-team. And thanks for tuning in to LockPod. We're out.
Have a great time. Thank you, guys.